watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
We want to get right to this breaking news of a crash in La Jolla. It is 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Netta Iramporia. Glad you're with us here. We want to check in with Vanessa Paz, who's keeping an eye on this. A SIG alert right now in a pretty busy spot here this morning.
Yeah,
Vanessa.
it's going to be a pretty big deal for drivers headed to the Farmers Insurance Open in Torrey Pines. So a big part of Genesee right now closed after a major crash. Our photographer is on scene trying to get details, but as of right now, we don't have a lot of information. All we know is that crews have issued a SIG alert following this crash in North Torrey Pines Road is completely shut down to traffic between Genesee Avenue and John J. Hopkins. Now, if you're familiar with this area, there are a couple of ways that you can get around this closure. You can opt for the 5 in both directions if you're coming from the north or south end, exit La Jolla Village Drive, and then get back on Torrey Pines Road. This is if you're not headed to the Farmers Insurance Open. Now, if you're just north of that, you can exit Carmel Valley Road, also where kind of the 56 spills onto once that freeway ends, and you can go south on Torrey Pines Road. As of right now, officials have told us that this SIG alert will be impacting traffic or that area for at least the next 3 hours. Chopper 8 should be over the scene, and we'll give you a live look and hopefully bring you more details a little later. Back to you guys.
Okay, Vanessa, thank you very much. Yes, stay tuned because we'll have updates. More breaking news. An Amber Alert is in effect here in San Diego, LA, and in Orange counties after a child abduction out of Santa Clarita. Authorities are looking for the 2 children you see on your screen right there in those yellow shirts and the suspect that you see on your screen on the right. They may be in a 2018 black Kia Sorento with a California license plate of 8LR F237. Call 911 if you see those 3 people or that vehicle. Right now, about 1,700 volunteers are conducting the annual point-in-time count of people experiencing homelessness.
CBS 8's Jenny Day live downtown with a closer look and really why this count's so important here, right?
Good morning to you both. So yes, this happens once a year, providing really a single day snapshot of our homeless population. I'll give you the numbers. 2 years ago, we had about 10,600 people who were counted countywide. That's all of San Diego County. And then things did slightly improve last year. We were at about 9,905 people who were unhoused. So 1,700 volunteers, as you mentioned, are fanned out countywide across 50 different sites, doing their best to connect with everyone. One of those volunteers is County Supervisor Paloma Aguirre. Appreciate you being out here early. Talk to me about your compassion for this group of people.
Well, we've spent since I think we've been going since 3:30 this morning. We've been talking to a lot of folks, you know, a lot of them born and raised here in San Diego. That's one of the myths out there that, you know, people that are unsheltered are not from here. Over 80% of them used to be housed. So that's why it's so important to invest in prevention so that people don't fall into homelessness. But the stories, you know, yes, you have to have compassion and empathy. It breaks your heart. You know, people have been unhoused for 4 years. Just, you know, it's heartbreaking.
So this count is mandated by HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. That helps determine our funding, helps determine resources. Elaborate on what you know and what having an accurate count means.
Yeah, it's extremely important because that way you can have data, hard data, to better understand how to make interventions. We know that in the past years after COVID, our unsheltered rates went up. Last year, they finally went down 7%. But what we're seeing is an increase in seniors that are becoming vulnerable. And now with this federal administration cutting, you know, access to Medicaid, access to CalFresh, reducing the Section 8 voucher program through the HUD program, it's extremely concerning. And that's why at the county we're taking proactive steps to invest some of the resources we have into prevention, which is extremely important. I'm calling for funding for the shallow rent subsidy program so that people, especially seniors who are on the verge of becoming homeless, can have a little help to keep them housed. That's key.
Well, I so appreciate you being out here. County Supervisor Paloma Aguirre, again, we have seen a slight rise in unhoused seniors. We've seen a decrease in veterans and families, so we'll be eager to get these statistics back. In addition to connecting with everyone, they are offering resources this morning as well. Guys, back to you.
Jenny, thanks for the updates there. This morning, new video showing a previous encounter between Alex Preddy and immigration agents in Minneapolis 11 days before he was killed. He's seen yelling at agents and kicking out a taillight as they drive away. The agents get out, tackle Preddy to the ground, and fire tear gas into the crowd. It's not clear what happened before cameras started rolling. A federal official tells CBS News the two agents who shot at Preddy on the day he was killed have been placed on administrative leave. Preddy was an intensive care nurse at a Veterans Affairs hospital. A rally in his honor will be held at San Diego's VA Medical Center at 7:30 p.m. tonight. This morning, we are hearing from local gun rights activists after Preddy's death. He was a lawful gun owner with a concealed carry permit, but was criticized by the Trump administration for bringing a loaded firearm to a protest.
I don't like that he had a gun. I don't like that he had 2 fully loaded magazines. That's a lot of bad stuff.
We don't have all the facts. We don't know everything, but he, the Border Patrol agent who fired his gun, is going to have a really difficult time trying to explain why he used lethal force on a person who was faced away from him on the ground, unarmed.
The group San Diego County Gun Owners is calling for transparency and accountability in this investigation, adding it should not be used as a pretext to vilify gun owners. Its executive director also cautions that protesters shouldn't use the Second Amendment as political leverage.
This morning, the Senate will hold a test vote on a funding package, which could indicate if we will have another government shutdown tomorrow night. Senate Democrats say they will not vote for a funding package, which includes funding for Homeland Security, without key reforms. That would include an end to immigration enforcement patrols, tighter rules for warrants, and a ban on masks. The deadline to avoid a shutdown is tomorrow, 9 p.m. That's our time. All right, it's been busy out on the roads already. So early this morning, let's see what's going on.
Yeah, we're continuing to follow some breaking news in the Torrey Pines La Jolla area after a major crash. Crews have issued a SIG alert, and Genesee Avenue is closed in a pretty big stretch. That's kind of like a main artery for people to get around, especially those who are headed to the Farmers Insurance Open, because crews have confirmed that the SIG alert will be in effect for at least the next 3 hours. So if you're headed that way, you want to listen in. It looks like North Torrey Pines Road will remain closed between Genesee Avenue and John J. Hopkins, as I mentioned, for the next 3 hours at least. We're still waiting to get details, but as of right now, we are just hearing that it was a major incident out there. Alternate routes you could opt for: 5 North if you're headed from that direction, or if you're headed from the North County southbound on the 5, exit La Jolla Village Drive, hop on Torrey Pines Road to get around that closure. If you're headed to Farmers Insurance Open, you could take the 56 West or use the 5, get onto Carmel Valley Road, and then head south on North Torrey Pines Road to get to the golf course. All right, switching gears, this is what it looks like. Again, this is going to be a pretty busy area, we suspect, because of the Open happening. This is the 5 in both directions at Genesee. Left side of your screen is at Southbound Drive. That's the Genesee exit. Right now, it's looking pretty smooth as you make your way towards that off-ramp. I have to check with these drive times. Right now it says 0 minutes. Obviously that's inaccurate. It's going to take you a little longer to get southbound from Encinitas as well as Escondido this morning. All right, 6:08 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times. About an hour 20 inbound from San Ysidro's port of entry. Just east of that from Otay Mesa, take you about 70 minutes to cross the border at last check.